Namaskar. Welcome to Awakening with Brahmakumaris. Namaskar, sister.
Om Shanti.
And welcome to Going Beyond.
Thank you so much.
I have something very apt today to read for you.
Sure.
It says about the first step of knowing is information. With information, our intellect opens to new ideas. The second step of knowing is knowledge. When we begin to reflect and think on the ideas. The third step of knowing is when we move from thinking to doing. That is, from knowledge to wisdom. Knowledge translated into our everyday behavior is called wisdom. So beautiful. Which in turn is called quality life. Doing or practice naturally brings us to the fourth and the final step of knowing, which is called truth.
Wonderful. Excellent, absolutely.
Superb, no?
Superb. So apt, absolutely. Because very often, as we discussed last time, when we go to a satsang or listening to, new ideas over
A spiritual class.
a spiritual class, or maybe a management workshop, a soft skills training program. So sometimes, even today, nowadays, people are used to just surfing the net and reading so much, reading self-help books. There's a whole flood of new ideas that the mind and the intellect is being exposed to. Like it said so beautifully, that when we get to know all these things, it's not knowledge immediately, but it is first only information. And many of us are standing on that first step of having got that information. And sometimes we can be standing on the first step for many, many years. But because we've been standing on the first step for many years,
We have a lot of information.
we have a lot of information and we think that is wisdom. We've been in the satsang for many, many years.
But not put into practice.
Yeah, we may have been a part of a spiritual organization for many, many years. Or we could be reading self-help books for many, many years, and we've probably read every book that's been launched in the market, and we think it's wisdom. A lot of people would say, I've gathered a lot of wisdom after watching this program or reading this book or exploring these ideas. And so this brings out that difference, which is very subtle, but which is very clear, because unless we understand that difference, we may be standing on a different step and thinking we've reached where we were meant to reach. So the first step to knowing is information. And I think a lot of us are on that first step today. We're taking in information, which is very important, because unless I begin this, I'm not heading anywhere else. So whether we are watching Awakening, whether we are going to the Brahmakumaris centers, whether we're reading books, whether we are exploring spirituality in any way, we're getting information. It's still not translated into knowledge. It's only information. Earlier, we had a lot of other information about the outer world from media, newspapers, technology, a lot of sources, internet, information of the outer world. And now we've started gathering information of the inner world. So now we have this huge source of information of the inner world. And now, as it said so beautifully, now churn on it, reflect on it, work on it, think on it. Don't take it as it is. Let's say we've explored challenging belief systems in our series on Going Beyond. Life is not a competition. It's about cooperating with each other. Information. Now think about it.
Is thinking and churning the same thing?
Yeah, thinking and churning means like, you say you take curd and you churn it and then you will get butter out of it. So when we get to know all this stuff, it's still the curd. And then we churn and make the butter out of it. It's the butter that we want to consume, the butter of knowledge. So churning means thinking about it. Do not criticize people. It depletes my energy and other people's energy. Read it? Now think about it. Think about it. Try and apply it. Try and see, will my life work without criticism? Will I benefit? Will people take advantage of it? Will my children be disciplined? Churn, 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 churn. And as I churn, I will explore and sometimes come up with another piece of information which the other people didn't share with me. It will come from my subconscious layer. This has become knowledge. And what I liked beautiful was the third one, that it's still only knowledge. And when I apply that into my practical life,
becomes wisdom.
Because then
So
we'll say,
once we take curds, information, churn, take out butter is knowledge, then eat the butter.
Absolutely.
At the right time, right place,
In the right
and
way.
the right dose.
Amount. Absolutely. And when you start eating the butter, you will be healthy. And that's why it says quality life, which means the quality of the soul is now going to change, not when it was at the information stage, not when it was at the knowledge state, but only and only when it comes in the practical stage. And then we say, wise person. Wise person is not the one who knows a lot. Wise person is the one who's taken even one point of knowledge and applied it in their practical life. And that's why wisdom only on practical application. And the fourth, such a beautiful line, once you've applied it and you've seen the result, then for you, this is the truth.
Beautiful.
Start with the belief system. Life is not a competition. Guilt is depleting energy. Hurt is my own creation. Anger damages me, damages other people. Comparison depletes the soul. Criticism hurts me and hurts the other person, lowers the self-esteem. Information. Take this belief system, churn it, apply it, and when you see the result and you like the result, then for you, this is the truth.
Just give me one example of any one of these things, say hurt or guilt, how to apply it.
How to apply it in practical life?
Just in a short term.
I take one point. No one can hurt me. I am responsible. No one can create any emotion for me, in fact. So no one can hurt me. I create my own thoughts and feelings, irrespective of situations and people. And so today I shift from negative reaction to a proactive response in the present moment. We saw on expectations. No expectations, proactive response in the present moment. Got this information, initially difficult to accept. How can they say that other people are not responsible and only I am responsible for how I'm going to think? What about that time when so-and-so did such a thing? So churn. But someone is saying, or someone has written and is saying with experience or after having tried it out, let me see. Do I like this line first of all? If I don't like it, reject it. If I like it, if I feel that if implemented, this is going to be a very, very powerful tool which will change my quality of life. Now churn on it and program my mind. Now the next situation that comes, this is how I will respond. Which means the next time something happens and immediately I will say to myself, this emotion that I am creating right now is my choice. Even if it means I reacted. It doesn't mean the first time I take it out into practical life and I'll be like no anger and no hurt and the perfect being. No, I will react.
Step by step.
Step by step. But the only shift now, because the shift is going to come one at a time. It's not going to shift from 1 to 100. The first shift will be that when I react the next time, at least I will not say they hurt me. They upset me. There is a huge number of people who've been watching Awakening for many years now, and each one has at least picked up this and is experimenting with it. And just picking up this one thing has changed quality of life. And they have reached that stage where they say, at least we say to ourselves, I am creating the hurt.
And I started the same way. I took only one point.
Right.
I am a soul. That's it. And I'm not Suresh Oberoi, I'm not the body, but I, the soul, with this body, and what are the qualities of soul?
Right.
That's it. Only one point. I'm a soul when I used to get up in the morning. I, the soul, good morning. I, the Son of the Almighty,
Supreme Father.
All Supreme, our Father, thank you. And I, the soul, is having a bath, having breakfast, enjoying everything, I, the soul.
Right. So then we start using it step by step. So we stop blaming people and taking personal responsibility. The minute we take personal responsibility, the duration and magnitude of that negative reaction will reduce. We'll create hurt and then immediately we'll say, I have a choice. I have a choice. Earlier it would have been they are responsible for everything. So the duration would be long and the magnitude of the hurt would be like this. So duration and magnitude starts reducing. Now once it starts reducing, the strength of the soul has started increasing because depletion is reducing. Now the next stimulus that comes, the duration will be even shorter and shorter. So we are moving from getting hurt for an hour to getting hurt for a minute.
I know, getting hurt for days.
For days, okay. And now what will happen will be, smaller situation, I will be able to cross without getting hurt. Bigger ones, maybe I still create the hurt. Or let's say situations where I forgot the awareness, I get hurt. And situations where I remember, now I remain stable. Now, next step. Some situations will come and I will remain absolutely stable. I have started bringing it into practice. And then when I see the result of what comes in practice, that someone said something and I was like this, someone cheated me and I was able to say, it's okay, it's a past karmic account. Now my choice is, how am I going to take this account to the next stage? I'm a peaceful soul. When I see myself saying this, I can see how I'm feeling internally. And because I like that comfortable feeling, and I know that this is what I was looking for years, and I was searching for it outside, and it was only a thought away. Happiness, bliss, peace, love, one thought away. It was just a choice. And then I say to myself, this is the truth. Absolutely. So it's a lot of fun.
Beautiful. It's so close to what we were taught in the film school, film and television in Pune. In method acting, they told me to enact a scene where I'm very sad, and they told me to go back to my memory and tap the emotional memory bank and take out any of the most saddest part of your life when you really cried a lot, and then mix that with the scene, that emotion. I was so involved that I started crying, from crying to weeping and weeping. It's just like I just learned how to get into it, but I did not learn how to get out of it.
Yeah.
So later on, slowly, I learned how to get into that emotion, use that memory bank, use that emotion. Okay, my father died that time that happened, or my sister got married, I felt this thing happened. One situation, go back, what was I wearing, where was the time, what was the location. Okay, live in that moment. Now, later on, slowly, just like this, start. The moment the director used to say, cut, I'm smiling.
Right.
So that kind of whatever is so close to what we learn, in life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then once it's taken the right way of how it has to be used, the tool, then the game becomes very, very interesting, because then you can see yourself the whole day working outside but playing with the tools inside. And this is awareness. You know, a lot of people find this word awareness a little difficult to understand, because everybody's saying awareness, but I'm not understanding what awareness is. Awareness just means doing everything outside and just aware of what is happening inside. Aware that in all these situations, I have choices. You know, earlier, we were not aware that we have choices. We thought it was natural to feel like this. So now aware that I am creating the emotion. Second, aware that I have choices, and aware that I have the power to implement whatever I choose right now. Earlier, something would happen. I was not aware, so I said, naturally I'll get hurt. Now I'm aware, okay, I'm getting hurt. Now that I am upset and this is my thoughts. First awareness. Second awareness, I have a choice. What should I do now to choose the other option? Think in another way. Think about the same situation and about the same person in another way. In a way which is comfortable for me and comfortable for the situation and comfortable for the other person, but most important, comfortable for me. So awareness that there is another way. First awareness, I'm creating this pain. Second awareness, to heal myself, I have to think in another way and there is a choice. And third, whatever I choose, I have the power to implement it now, right now. So choose another thought and see the power that we have to bring it out into action. That's it. Awareness translated into reality.
Tell me one thing. When I'm angry in real life or with anger, I used to use some words which are not pleasant or maybe bad words. But the same anger, when I use it in my performance, I'm so aware that this is shooting and I cannot use those words here. I mean, so much of awareness, same anger, and not a degree less.
Yes, yes.
Not a degree less.
Yes.
And almost looks like out of control. Then why don't I use those bad words there, or I don't use any extra words?
Yes, because
So much of awareness.
Awareness. That's all. I mean, for you as an actor, this should be like easy. So much of awareness. That was reality, but this is a movie. This is my performance. People are watching me. Once done and once said, this is going to be used and seen by millions of people worldwide. This is there. When this is there in the subconscious has to have a reason for how and what I'm going to perform right now. Similarly, when now we feed into the subconscious, my happiness is going to be based on my every choice. My choice of dialogues and the way I perform every scene decides my quality of life here. Once this is there in the subconscious, then I understand this is even more important than the scene being enacted in a movie and being appreciated by audience. Priority. That real life scene is probably even more important than the scene in the movie.
But in the real life scene, I used to say, oh, it happened in the heat of the moment. It happened, I was angry. I was out of control. I did this, I did that. Sorry, I used those words. But same thing not in the film. So I can understand the meaning of awareness and being attention. When I asked Dadi Janki, I met her in London about 14, 15 years back. I was just gone for a holiday. I met this lady, I said, she just told me, I just met her. I said, hi, hello, and she took me around showing this. We were sitting together. She said, be in attention. So I said, what is this old lady saying? You know, I didn't know what is Brahmakumaris, what is all that. I couldn't stop myself. I said, excuse me, ma'am, how can one be in attention all the time?
Yeah.
I said, how can it be possible? Because it cannot be possible. It looks impossible. You can't even digest that. I said, I can't even understand. How can you speak that? Then you know what she told me? You can be in tension 24 hours, but not in attention.
How sweet, yeah.
I said, I thought she's just using the jugglery of words, but later on I realized that yes, I can be tensed throughout, happily. Yes, life is full tension. I'm doing so much of work. I have to do so much things. I'm so busy. I'm a busy man. I can be tensed.
Or I can keep attention. And if I keep attention throughout, then I'll be a happy person throughout. At the Brahmakumaris, the aim objective that the Dadis teach us is watch every thought. And now when you listen to that line, watch every thought, and the first time I heard it, and I said, watch every thought? I mean, how can anybody watch every thought? Look at the number of thoughts that are there. But now, once practice, see, that's the fun. Initially, when we hear a spiritual concept, the mind tends to reject it because it's way, way away from the life that we were living, where I was not even aware of a single thought. And suddenly somebody tells me, watch every thought. It just seems to be a different world altogether.
Sounds impossible.
Impossible. And so there is this tendency to reject a spiritual concept because it's just a way, and the first word I'll say, impossible.
That's why they say it is not practical life.
It's not practical.
They always use this line, they say, spirituality, sorry, it is not, it's easily said than done. So it is, in practical life, it's not possible.
Right. And then now that I see myself after like 15, 20 years, and I can say, yes, I'm able to watch a lot of my thoughts. Have not reached watching every thought, but have moved a great distance from not being aware of any thought, not taking responsibility of any thought and reaction, today taking responsibility of every action. That's for sure, not blaming situations and people. And even if I would say, oh, it's because of them, my next thought would be, it's not because of them. It's because you are choosing to do it right now. So that internal conversation and that internal awareness is there. So I've not reached watch every thought, but I know I'm able to watch many of my thoughts, which tells me if I can move up to watching many of my thoughts, and if I now just keep taking care, I will reach watching every thought. Definitely.
And the quality of life. And that is bringing you closer to the truth.
Yes. And that's why never have a time constraint, Attention. A lot of people will say, how much time does it take to change? When will we reach a stage where we will not get angry? When will we be totally peaceful? It's not a race against time. Again, time also is a very big concept.
Doesn't this create another tension?
Another tension. Just take it, play with it, attention, but not tension. Sometimes people can get very tensed using spirituality.
The same way I go on watching, what time will I get sleep?
Yeah.
What time will I
Very
sleep?
True.
It's 10 o'clock in the night, 11, 12, 1.
Very true. And the more you do it like that, less chances of falling off to sleep because the mind is getting disturbed. So sometimes people get disturbed that they're not being able to implement it. Take it naturally. Flow with it. Use it. The lighter we are while using it, the easier it will be to implement it. But if we get very tensed, today again I got angry. How could I get angry? So then what will happen? I might not create anger, but I create guilt.
Guilt, tension, and so much of heaviness,
So that's about using the tool the right way.
Sister, I want to read something very interesting. May I?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry for interruption.
No.
Because I want to share with the viewers also. It says there is one very simple rule for success that we need to learn. Well, they may call it success, but the beautiful line here is say, just try one more time. Just try one more time in a different way. Just try one more time in a different way before you decide to quit.
Lovely. Isn't that the mantra for today now for us?
I think it's so beautiful. Just try one more time.
Now look at every challenge. Let's look at every challenge that we are facing in our life, whether it's in relationships, whether it's at work, whether it's with our own sanskars. Sometimes some of our sanskars can become a challenge for us because as we are working on ourselves, situations we know are not the challenge. People are not the challenge. Now we understand that it's my thinking habit and my reaction which is a challenge. And as we are practicing, what most of us find is that some of the habits, some of the sanskars change very easily. At the Brahmakumaris, now that I meet so many people, lakhs and lakhs of people, and we find that when we start studying, there are many sanskars which will change like in a couple of months and maybe a year. And within 6 to 8 months, we feel that we're different people. And we can see the difference. Okay, I don't get very angry now, which means, and we start feeling, this is really simple. Was it so simple to change my sanskar? But there are some sanskars which are like very deep, very, very deep. Now these deep sanskars will be different for different people. And I can see this person has been able to overcome their anger in 6 months. Look at me. I'm here for 20 years and I'm still reacting. I'm still getting angry. Something is wrong with me. I'm just not being able to use it in the right way. this sometimes leads to a little disillusionment. And sometimes there is this subtle thought, let it be. I can't get rid of this anger. It's just too tough. And then sometimes we say, it's my nature. It's my deep habit.
I am like this.
I am like this. It's not going to go. So we have that, that comfort zone that we want to go back into.
And the chance to quit.
Quit.
So that's what this is.
Yes.
Just try in a
One
different
more time.
way, one more time, before you decide to quit.
It's very, very beautiful, because we really need to understand that different souls will have different sanskars. For some souls, some sanskars will be very easy, and another one or two will be very tough. But for another soul, the same ones which are tough for me will be natural, but something which will be very easy for me can come very tough to another person. So very important on a spiritual journey, let's not compare. Sometimes we move away from comparison in work and at home, and then come on a spiritual path and start comparing with each other.
And comparing both the paths also so much.
Yeah, very true.
It's separate, no?
Separate. Each one like this, on their journey, on their path. And because we understand I am a soul with lot of sanskar of many, many births. So different souls will have different sanskars. For some sanskars are in the deeper layer, so they are tougher, and the others are more of this lifetime, so they'll be able to blow it away like this. But different souls will have different. So I can't compare with other people. I'll have to focus only on my journey. Even on my journey, I can't keep comparing with myself. Some people tend to compare. Yesterday, my meditation was beautiful. Today, just doesn't seem to happen. How come I was able to do it yesterday? Last year, my meditation used to be another level altogether.
And they listen to somebody saying, I saw an orange light, I saw some red light, oh, I saw a white light, I had a vision of so-and-so, I saw a deity, I saw that God, this, that. And that also, people start feeling there also.
Yeah.
They say, oh, I'm inferior, then they start telling lies. Oh yes,
Very
even
true.
I saw orange, round.
Very true.
Why?
Very true.
You cannot cheat yourselves there.
Yeah. So this we need to take care, that a lot of our sanskars which we were using in other aspects of our life, now we have the knowledge, so we remove them from there and we say no comparison, no cheating, transparency, honesty. We start applying that at work, but sometimes we start using the same sanskar on the spiritual path. We're cheating ourselves, we're comparing ourselves with others, we're going back into the past again and again and saying, last year was better meditation, 10 years back was my experience like this. Being in the present moment. If I'm using that word or that line in my practical day-to-day life, how can I remove it from my spiritual life? Being in the present moment. Every moment is different. Every moment is a different experience. Attention, yes, that in which direction am I heading? I hope I'm not just moving back. I have to constantly be moving ahead. But no comparisons with other people, no competition with other people. Sometimes we can compete on a spiritual path. So no comparison, no competition, my journey, no going back in the past, focused, moving ahead, and as every scene comes, just think in a different way.
So sister, let's all of us try just one more time in a different way before we decide to quit.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, sister.
Thank you so much.